Okay, everyone, hello, this is Apple Slayer once again. I got a new thing for you. Now, today, we're just going to be doing verbs and variables. Now, verbs are basically what a player can do, like carry out a few commands, like speaking in a game, like say the say verb. Now variables, they're basically just or not numbers. They're basically just letters that hold a value. That value can be numbers, other letters. It could be a list of letters. It could just be like one or two. And the thing about variables is that their data can change all the time. So let's start. Now, we're going to be focusing on basic chat verbs today. So if you already know all your chat verbs, no real need to listen. Okay, so we start off by giving we start a verb off by saying who's it for. And this verb is for the mob. So we need to go mob, verb, and then let's do it for say. Say. Now, I'm just going to place a few arguments in for say. So we need an input variable t, and that t is going to be as text. Nifty, right? And that's basically I'm just going to ask them, what do you say? And that what you're saying is t, and t is text. And then we need to do an output to, well, say can't be the entire world since you're only saying it. So we need to put it as view, which is a world variable. And then that view in 7 squares around you in every direction. We'll be able to hear what you say, and then we're going to output that thought to the seven squares around you, and then we take our oh god, I lost my train of thought. You're going to, oh yes, one more thing I forgot to mention. We're also going to be using this because I like to see a name for my say. So you have to do mob slash m. Now this is just a path. It basically says all mobs are abbreviated to m. Very simple. And then we're just going to go like this. Brackets means that you're calling on that variable. So I'm calling m, and then it's going to take m's name, and you're going to put colon. You don't need the colon. This is just text. So whatever you could put like, you can't do that, but you could do this, and it will just give you all those letters after their name and then a colon. It won't give you any errors, but I just like to do a colon, space, and then you go T for text. One more thing you do with when you're in quotations, you can do some HTML, like this is just bold. I'm not like an HTML all-star. I don't really care about it. It's a good skill to have, but what do you see? Okay, now the next thing. Now we want now that we have a way to talk to people around you, let's have a way to talk to people in the world in case your game is like one of those RPGs that have OOC. So let's call this next one OOC and give it our arguments. Oh, one more thing, right here if you didn't notice, if there is a little tiny how do I say comma. That's just to find a new statement up here in your argument parameters. Okay, so basically we're going to follow the same thing. Just go T as text, comma, mob slash mob, enter tab, and then instead of outputting to your view, we're going to output to the world. So world, and then you don't need any, because it's the world, you don't need any definition right here, which is 7. That'd be 7 squares out. So we don't need any of that. That's just to the world. And then we're going to output to it. And we're going to output bolded name. And then we need to output our person, which is M, and the bolding, because N bold, colon, space, brackets, T. And then I'm just going to fix this one up here. And there you go. You have your first two chat commands. But there's no point in talking if you don't know who's online. Now, this one is a little bit advanced because it uses the for loop and uses lists. But I'm just like, you don't have to understand this yet. I'm just gonna give you a glimpse of it, and then you could look at your reference, which is if you hit F1, it should show up, and it gives you a bunch of information blocks and all of that. But I don't need that right now. So let's start. Now we want a who command. So this basically works by going who, and then I'm not going to work with parameters for now, just to show you how you do it if you couldn't use parameters. There's some occasions you can't. So I want a variable x because I want to tell. Actually, I'll show you this later. Variable x equals 0. Right now, that's a null value. So okay, so for loop. So we just have to type in for variable slash mob slash players slash m in the world. We're going to do x plus plus, which is x plus 1. Then you're going to, after this, you need to do user output, or input, my bad. Input to the user, brackets, n. And then after that, going to go down here, enter and backspace. So this is after your for loop is executed. You're going to do. You're gonna go user input, and that's how you make the who. Now let's break this one down. This is a big complicated one. This goes deep into numbers and variables. So now basically we start off with this variable x. Now this is a variable we're going to use, but we don't want to define it anywhere else because we like having our variables at the top. They're easier to find. Now for loop. Now this is just basically saying for. It says all the mobs who are players will be abbreviated to M in this proc. And then it says all of them in the world will be abbreviated to M. Then goes x plus plus because this is going to be our number holder. So for every time it does this, after it does this once, it goes back and checks again, and checks again, and checks again. So it has all the users, and then we'll output user that, which it will be their name. You could put user.name, however, it won't read well. So just put M, it works. And then we have user input this text, and then click Control K. No errors, so let's go test it out. Now, see if we have any bugs. So let's go, yeah. One more thing you can do is that down here, there's an automatic say bar, which you can make better or worse. Do hello network variable. I'm the only one online, and there's one player online. That was a very easy proc. Okay, so if there's any questions, comments, just shout them out. If you have any bugs in your code, just tell me.